Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson, and I am going to talk to you today about how to use the Smart Response devices. In my class this year, we're going to be using different devices in order to get responses from the students for their assessments. The first device here is the Smart Response PE, and the middle one is the Smart Response XE, and the last one here on the right is the Centia, which is the older model of the Smart Response. This year we're going to be using the middle one, the XE, but I'll talk about the other ones which are pretty similar. The power button is located on the top. If you press it and hold it down for 3 seconds, you will see the screen come on. The power button for the other Smart Response is located right here at the top. Again, if you hold it down for 3 seconds, it will come on. First thing you do, you must find a class. So the selector buttons are located here on the left side. You'll see find a class. It's one of the options. So if you press the second button here, it will give you a ticking timer indicating that it's waiting to find the class. So wait till you find the class of your teacher. For me, Dr. Rob's class. Once it's found, you'll see my name there. Same thing for this Smart Response. You have to go down, up or down to find the class, and then press enter. You should always find the class first before you do anything in joining the class, because you want to make sure you're joining the right class. Once the classes are found, you have to join the class. So the first thing you do, again, you'll press on the Smart Response XE, the second button here on the left side, the selector button, because it'll allow you to join the class. But it's then going to ask you a question for identification purposes to make sure that you have access to this class. It's going to ask you your student ID number. So you type in that number. Remember, don't give your number to anybody. Keep it private. Once you type that in, press this button over here, the sign in button. It'll ask you a question to verify your name, and you press it again and verify that yes, you want to sign in. With the other Smart Response, you press enter to join Dr. Rob's class or the class that you want to join, and then it's going to ask you the same question. What is your student identification number? Press enter, and then it's going to ask you the question to identify yourself. Is this you? Are you the person? And press enter to sign in. Then it's going to give you a message. Welcome is the message on the other response devices. In the middle one, the XE response device, it says, please wait for questions. So it's now up to the teacher to start asking you questions. There's also the Smart Response VE, which is a virtual environment, which allows you to access Smart Response questions by phone, if you have internet access, or tablets or laptops. So if you have internet access, you can use what's called the Smart Response VE. You must first go to response-smarttech.com, that website. Once you go to that website, the screen will come up, allowing you to type in the assessment ID number, which is the name of the test or number of the test, and your student identification number, your student ID, to identify you as the student of that class. So that way the teacher will know who's taking the test. And then you click sign in and you'll be into the test. And again, remember, you could be at home. You don't have to necessarily be in school, but you could be even in school using these devices, a tablet or a phone or a laptop. Here's a sample of the student assessment ID. You would type in this number, and then you would type in your ID, and then you press OK. Remember, the website is response.smarttech.com. That's the website you must go to in order to get in. Once you are in, you can now operate your smart response and answer questions. So let's go over the keys strokes that you need to know. First is the power button. You hold it down for 3 seconds. It's located up here on the top. The selection keys are located all down here on the left side, as well as up here on the right side. The keyboard, as you see, it's a very good keyboard. It has a lot of different numbers and letters. If you need to type a special symbol like a plus sign or a negative sign, you would press the symbol button located here in the corner and press the corresponding green key that matches and activates that key. The menu button is on the space bar here. In order to get to the menu, which allows you to log out, you would press the symbol button and then press the space bar. That gives you the menu, which allows you to sign out. Here's the pad for arrowing up and down or left or right. If you make a mistake and you need to delete something, all you would do is press the delete key. So those are the buttons for the Smart Response XE. The other Smart Response, the PE or Centio, similar buttons. The power button is located here on top. Again, hold it down for 3 seconds to turn it on or off. Here is the true false button. It also has a Y and N underneath each of those corresponding letters for yes and no. Here is your keypad. It has each letter from A all the way through J, and with the numbers 1, the digits 1 through 0. So you can type any combination of numbers you need. One thing I must add about the letter F and false. They do not interchange each other, so if you're picking false for an answer choice, you have to press up here, whereas this F will not register a false. The delete button is located here on the top. Allows you to delete buttons. If you had a negative number, you would type in your number. There's a negative sign button down here. So the smart response only knows positive integers. So in order to get a negative number, you have to type the number and then press this little negative button, and it will give you a negative number. Likewise, on the bottom, if you had a decimal number, you would type your number and then press this button for a decimal. This decimal also doubles for a fraction bar in typing your fraction. If you had a fraction, say 2/3, you would type 2 and then press the fraction button. I know it may look like a decimal, but it's the fraction bar. And 3, and then you would press enter. That's how you would type a fraction. And here's this last button here, the log out button. This button allows you to sign out. It's another menu button. So you'll see tests that look like this. This is the title page where you would have some type of assessment. And every time you have an assessment, this is the page that is always seen. Grade, subject, and date. Here's a sample question, true or false, where you'd have to use your smart response to answer TF, or on the selected keys, true or false. Here's another question where you'd have to type in some type of fraction or number to correspond to what is the value, how much is pi. So that's a number question. How is this class so far? This question requires that you have to type text. So you'll be typing letters in order to get the answer. Now this one, you need the Smart Response XE in order to type from that keyboard. So the other two are not really suited for this purpose. Here's another question where you'd have to type text. So this year we're going to use the middle one because I feel this is pretty much the best of all the Smart Response, the Smart Response XE. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope that you'll review it so you'll be prepared to come in and work with our Smart Response because we're going to be using them all year. So this is Dr. Robinson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in class.